Chadwick's Cultivated Circumstances, Experiences Sometimes Priceless, by Author Charles A. Chadwick Jr., narrated by Jermaine Mcneese. Introduction. This short booklet shares a few circumstances that I found myself in and was able to capitalize. I cannot promise you anything, but I encourage you to ponder this one statement. Experience can sometimes be connected directly or indirectly with the word circumstances, which can sometimes be priceless. As we are still living through this pandemic of COVID-19, I just wonder how much experience was gained on an individual level and as a society. What was learned and how did people survive their created or uncreated circumstances? Did people use their own new or past experiences to get them through this interesting time period? How did people feel being deemed as an essential or non-essential worker? After being classified, some people were indeed laid off and found themselves without employment. After hearing and seeing some people lose their job, it made me think hard about my own working experiences. As I reflected off my previous and current employment, I thought about some of the experiences where I changed my circumstances. Throughout this short book, I want people to know that whenever you are minimized, you must learn to multiply and capitalize no matter what circumstances you face. I don't follow the news much these days because it can sometimes come off negatively. While reading this book, I want you to think about the idea of learning how to gain some type of experience to change one circumstance for the better. I know that there is a push for the minimum wage to be $15 per hour. I'm hearing politicians say there need to be a livable wage. I can see some truth to the argument, but I also would say that who can define what's a livable wage in a supposedly free market economy? In my opinion, experience can be used as leverage to set price or value to something. Experience can sometimes show up in a unique way. In a passage from Men of Letters by Dr. Thomas Sowell, a retired American economist reflected on minimum wage and experience in a letter response to an Alabama mayor named Johnny Ford, dated March 27, 1984. Things have definitely changed for minorities and women in the workforce since 1984, but at the time, this was the tone. Sowell wrote in one section, "Not only do many young blacks need to be bringing in some money to low-income households, they need the work experience even more than they need the money. There is no way to move up the ladder without first getting on the ladder, and for almost everybody, that usually means getting on at the bottom." In the same letter, Sowell continued, "After they get some experience under their belts, they will be worth more than minimum wage. But to prevent them from getting the experience in the first place by insisting that they receive the minimum wage from day one is a great disservice to them. My own work experience as a teenager was enormously valuable to me, not only then, but now." Dr. Sowell stated something interesting. He said, "They need the work experience even more than they need the money." Could this be a true statement? I will share some of my own work experiences that I learned without money being the primary reason or motivation. By getting some experience for myself and not chasing money 100% of the time, I've been able to cultivate. Let me share a short story of how experience can be priceless. I have heard many different similar versions of this story, but the main point is how experience can be used as leverage in the job market. There is an old story of a boilermaker who was hired to fix a huge steamship boiler system that was not working well. After listening to the engineer's description of the problem and asking a few questions, he went to the boiler room. He looked at the maze of twisting pipes, listened for the thump of the boiler and the hiss of the escaping steam for a few minutes, and felt some pipes with his hand. Then he hummed softly to himself, reached into his overalls and took out a small hammer and tapped a bright red valve one time. Immediately, the entire system began working perfectly, and the Boilermaker went home. When the steamship owner received a bill for $1,000, he became outraged and complained that the Boilermaker had only been in the engine room for 15 minutes and requested an itemized
Sample complete. Ready to continue?